and away.
Tug along with the Sunday crew. Geeking out is what we do. Giggle on, it's gonna be great. Don't be late, let's celebrate. Science fiction on a screen so bright. Old classics and the new delights. The unapologetic geek will lead the way, with facts and fun to fill your day. Discussing every detail, every frame, from the eerie to the loud and the same. Giggle along with all that's great. Those Sunday vibes you can't debate. Tug along with the Sunday crew. Geeking out is what we do. Giggle on, it's gonna be great. Don't be late, let's celebrate.
Hello, all you lovely Tug bots in my channel or everybody else's channel. How's it going? We're back to another episode of Chat.
You haven't finished that book yet?
One page a day, he says.
Never trust nobody named Heidelberg.
Well, yeah.
Make it a rule.
Oh, and before we start, one thing I have to say, congratulations to Bad Bunny for winning the Nobel Peace Prize. Positive comments only. Should get the conversation started.
That's excellent. Thank you, Thrash. I'm going to say hi to the people in chat, both in my chat and in Thrash's and Tracy's.
Keithy, Lance, Gambit, and Gary. Hello, guys.
Yep.
Anybody I missed?
I don't know Paul for his Gambit. Let's see. Gary Carpenter. Yeah. Carowin is here. Battlefield is here. Hello, Mayhem.
Hey, Carolyn.
Good to see you here. Oh, and there he is, Indy.
Lurking in the shadows, I see.
And yes, Indy, with this topic, it's kind of an endless sea of garbage. Now, normally, I tend to be very positive on this channel. I try not to talk about bad movies that I don't like. But every once in a while, it can be cathartic. So when Thrash suggested we do this, I was originally going to talk about just all the Universal Classic Monster remakes, and most of those qualify as bad movies. So we're going to go with that. Not the Hammer ones. The Hammer ones are great. Don't get me wrong.
If I had a hammer...
There goes my list.
And if you like the Hammer remakes, which you should because they're great, I do have one on Dracula coming out in a couple hours. So,
okay.
Cool.
That one Dracula remake is good.
I like it
with the Castle Grayskull guy in it. You know.
Oh God,
the Frank Langella one, that one from the 70s. Yeah.
I like that Dracula remake.
I got the Unapologetic Geek. You got the Ramones.
I have the Ramones.
I got puns.
Yeah.
Wedding home videos.
we're all in our uniform.
Nice, Mayhem. Especially some of Danny's, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Green Hornet and Ishtar. They're not horror movies, but they're bad. Although Ishtar, I think, gets a bad rap. I don't think it's as bad as its reputation. Don't get me wrong, it's not good, but it's not as bad as its reputation. Oh, and see, I'm not alone. Form also liked it.
My girl.
Is it form is content or form is content? I never know.
I'd say content, but I'm content with that.
Hello, Sarah. Glad to see you came back.
Sister Sarah.
And also congratulations.
Soon to be sister-in-law.
Exactly. Congratulations to Sarah and our friend Tim, both friends of the channel. They got engaged. So excellent. We like that around here.
You crazy kids. And Lance, brother.
I hope they live stream the wedding on YouTube so the whole world can watch.
For miscontent. I like that. That's what I'm going to use from now on. For miscontent. Got it.
This is the winter of our miscontent.
I should probably turn the chat on.
The opening of the first Blackadder's, you know, where
Yeah.
Brian Blessed gets up and says, "Today is the summer of our great content."
Oh God, that's so funny.
Okay, so like I said, we're going to talk about bad horror movies. And I was just talking in the green room before we started that I was looking at a bunch of movies from the 50s looking for bad horror movies, but every single one that I found, I was like, I like this movie. Yes, it's bad, but I think it's fun anyway. So I can't really talk about 50s movies. So most of my movies are more recent than that. And to get things started, I'm going to talk about the one that probably disappointed me the most because I was a big slasher fan in my youth in the 80s. I loved slasher movies. And when Freddy Went to Hell, that was bad. That was really bad. I mean, Jason, not Freddy. Jason Went to Hell. That was really bad. Like the other Jason movies before that, you know, you had like Part 8 where he goes to Manhattan. It's not a good movie either, but at least it's fun to watch. Like you can hang out with friends and watch that movie and get drunk, and it's a blast. Jason Goes to Hell is it doesn't make any sense. It's trying to like tie in the Necronomicon from Evil Dead, and Jason is like this weird worm creature that can transfer from body to body, and Jason's barely even in the movie. And they made this instead of doing Freddy versus Jason back then because they still couldn't quite get the rights worked out. Even though at the very end, Freddy's hand does come out of the ground. And so Jason never goes to hell in the movie. The title is a big fat lie.
Clickbait.
Like there's a pair of boobs in the first 5 minutes, but other than that, the movie is not worth watching. Everything else is terrible. It's all downhill from there.
You have done it, man. You have picked the absolute worst of all the Friday the 13th movies. That one is bottom of the barrel. Horrible.
It is the absolute worst. I was considering like which one should I pick, and I'm like, of course I should pick this one because the other ones are at least fun. Like I said, Jason Goes to Space and Jason X, awesome. I love it. And Jason
I must
Takes
confess,
Manhattan.
I checked out after 5.
Well,
I was the last
you checked
stand
that
with
after
me.
5 because
After
6 is
5,
like where it
probably.
really like picks back up again. 6 is great. Where it, like,
I really should, but
Yeah.
I liked 5. I just couldn't do it anymore. I'm like,
I understand. 5 is not very good either.
I'm into self-punishment,
Really?
so of course I watched every one of them more than once. And it's like the Tremors movies. No matter what they say or how much people don't like them, if they come out with a new one, I'm gonna watch it because it's a Tremors movie.
Oh, the title is describing the franchise. Good call, Indy. Then it does make sense. And we're all on TV. Say hi to Sarah's TV. And boopy to you as well, Snarky. Bordello of Blood, Slasher Fred. That's a fun movie. That's the one with Dennis Miller, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so that was my pick. So unless anybody has anything else they want to say about Friday the 13th, please.
You know, initially there were going to be 13 of them. Get it? Friday the 13th.
I know.
They couldn't go to the well anymore times. That's my favorite Friday the 13th franchise fact.
But they did go to the well a lot of times and made a TV series called Friday the 13th. To see the series
Had nothing.
Yeah, which had nothing
At
to do
all.
with Crystal Lake.
Whatsoever.
Actually, it kind of did.
In what way?
Yeah, in what way? The owner of the shop, Andrew Cleves Voorhees, was the father of Jason Voorhees.
Ah, yes.
Never knew that. Thank you.
Yeah.
I was trying to find a connection to the universe. Thank you.
Yeah.
I like,
Why did Jason come out the way he did? Because of the cursed objects in the shop. He had one.
Oh, okay. I never
I
saw the
always know
pilot.
that because
I didn't like the
rewatching-
show.
I just started rewatching the freaking series, man. I swear to God, and that's why I know that.
It wasn't a bad show.
I'm up to a really cool episode with a possessed nun.
Yeah, the show was fine.
They all-
I don't love it, but it was fine. Definitely better than Jason Goes to Hell. By
But
a
I
million
remember
miles.
now, I didn't love the show. I wasn't even enthralled with the show. Show's okay, but there's this red-headed girl named Roby in it. And when I was young, I had an incredible crush on this girl. That's why I like the show so much.
That makes
You know
sense.
what? Even as a dirty old man, I think I still have a crush.
Well, like they say, you're allowed to-
That's the great irony of our existence.
Mhm.
Started out, they were all sexy older women. Now we're dirty old men. It's the darndest.
Now, you don't get it, man. I don't
Maybe
care if
you
she's
do.
90. I still want to date.
Well, listen, I always say this. I'm still alive, right?
Yeah, you're still alive.
Okay, so that means I ain't dead yet. If you get my point. I mean, there's a lot of handsome guys who've been in some movies. I found, I thought that guy who played
Hellboy.
but yeah, out of costume,
Ron
boy,
Perlman?
so different. Oh, he was fine.
Jeez.
It goes both ways, I'm afraid.
We're really into that big square jawed Frankenstein type. Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, I saw a trailer for that Christian Bale Frankenstein movie, The Bride. It looks
Yeah.
so bad. It looks really,
Don't it?
really
I
bad.
put it on the Shot Theater channel the other week, man. It got a bunch of views and everybody crapped on it.
Yeah, I saw actually, like, you sent me a link to the short trailer, which I watched, and then yesterday I actually went to go see Tron, which I really liked. I know the rest of the world seems to hate it for some reason.
Were the graphics better?
The graphics were better. They were a lot better, actually. You didn't have the plastic face dude. What was I saying? Jeff Bridges, right? And I saw the Bride trailer, like the full length one on the screen, and it looked like a migraine. It looked so bad. It looked like it had nothing to do with Frankenstein.
I was watching this video last night where it's showing all these commercials from my childhood. And one of the things it had was the little remote control game where it had a racetrack with the Tron motorcycles on it.
Yeah.
And I remember having that as a child. And every time I come around this certain curve, my motorcycle would fly off through the living room. And I think that might have had something to do with my deep-seated hatred for that movie because I never could master the little motorcycle game.
And Slasher Fred, I almost put The Thing 2011 on my list.
Oh,
But Mary Elizabeth Winstead's in it, so I can still watch it. So it doesn't qualify. Because if you've watched my channel long enough, you know I have a crush on Mary Elizabeth Winstead.
Never heard. And who could blame you?
She's great. She's great. I'm not dead either.
They said, see? Ain't dead yet.
Okay, Danny. So now you got to pick.
so now I got to come up with the one that I could come up with, 50s kind of horror movie that Tug forgot about. Because he said he couldn't find one to crap on. And I was like, I think there is one we can crap on. And I'm not going to talk about the one with the big rocks because I like that one that we were talking about earlier. No, I'm going to go with Plan 9 from Outer Space. Ed Wood's notorious nightmare of a movie with only half of Bella and horrible scenes and badly filmed and badly acted. And
I consider that
film,
movie.
but take note, let me point out, I still watch it repeatedly and still laugh at it.
Yeah,
But
I don't think that one qualifies because it's so bad it's fun.
It does
I'm
qualify.
sorry. How can you watch a movie and not have fun? If it's entertaining, it's not bad.
Yeah.
And
There are Ed
bad.
Wood movies you could pick though, like Bride of the Monster is way
You
worse.
like-
This movie's really,
I like
really
it
bad.
because it's so bad it's good.
Exactly.
It's
That's
not so bad it's good. It's bad it's bad. It's really bad.
But these are,
But I
that-
can watch
that's
it and
it. I
laugh
mean,
at it.
I find it incredibly entertaining, and that's the thing, is that it's not necessarily low. First of all, I've never found that the budget should be a main concern. If it's a good movie, but they didn't have the money to throw at the screen and make it visually stunning, you can still enjoy the story or the acting or a number of things. And I find Plan 9 to be one of the most entertaining movies of all time. You're stupid little minds, stupid. That's all I'm taking from you, man. I mean, the movie is just fun. You can actually make a drinking game by all the continuity errors. I mean, it's just so. I'm sorry, Dan. It's very rare I disagree with you, but I'm not going to be able to side with you on this one.
And for miscontent, I do agree. The Ed Wood movies that came out after Plan
I was
9, where
about
he
to
like
say-
kind of descended into
There
madness,
goes my
and
list.
softcore pornography, it got really, really bad.
Weird. I had him down on
Plan
my-
9 was the beginning of the downfall for
Yeah, when Plan 9 from Outer Space is your high watermark, come on. I know. But it's a brave stance to take that Ed Wood wasn't a very good filmmaker. But
It was also one of the inspirations for Night of the Living Dead, one of my favorite Halloween movies of all time. In case we haven't met.
I have no idea what movie you're talking
Does
about.
everybody see the internet kind of jumping around, or is it just mine?
Just you.
Just
Just
you.
you, man.
That
Am I
reminds
jumping
me,
around to
Tug.
y'all?
You're
No.
not.
Okay. Well, it's like Army helicopters up here or something.
Nice.
Well,
Whenever they
Well,
fly
that's
over,
true.
they start getting weird.
I went to your post on Invasion of the Body Snatchers and made a little quip. Were there any other renditions of this book? And someone actually thought I was serious. I'm like, sorry, dude, it's a running joke.
yeah, some people don't get all the context. It's okay.
That's funny.
I think that was our very first collaboration on this channel, was talking about the Invasion of the Body Snatchers movies. It was either that or Night of the Living Dead. I can't remember which.
I think
Yeah.
Invasion of the Body Snatchers was first. Actually, I think you're right.
You know, don't get me wrong, I love the Invasion of the Body Snatchers movie. The original is a classic, but it's one of them rare cases where I actually prefer the remake over the original.
That's what I
I'm
always
a
say.
big Leonard
No.
Nimoy, Jeff Goldblum. Donald Sutherland. You know, I think the remake blew the original out the water in that case.
I really like this.
I really
remake.
think that too, by the way.
I love the original, but I think I like the remake better. Yeah, I'm with you. However, the Invasion, the one from the like late '90s, early 2000s with Nicole Kidman and Daniel Craig, that would qualify for this show because it's really bad.
I would have put it on my list, but I never saw it for reasons that are all too obvious.
The remake I've never seen.
It's not even body snatchers. They don't snatch bodies. It's just some space disease that gets people sick and turns them into zombies. It's not. It's not Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
Which actually brings me to one of my key points. One of the things that features in this prominently are horrible movies that have really, really good source material. And when you take an amazing movie and can't make at least a marginally entertaining movie from it, that's on you, pal.
True.
Actually, I just want to say Mrs. Thrash says hello, by the way. She just happened to walk through the
Hey,
room.
Mrs. Thrash.
But yeah. But yeah, bad remakes will feature very prevalently on my list. But shall I start, by the way?
Yeah, go for
I
it.
don't want to. Okay. I'm actually going to start with one that isn't a ripoff, but is, in my opinion, I had to start with a zombie movie. And I had to go with one that is hands down one of the worst ever made. And it was part of the whole Nazi zombie renaissance, which was actually a thing. There were a lot of Nazi zombies, which still echo to this day. And I picked one that I wanted to love. It has a great title, but it goes downhill from there. It's Zombie Lake. This film has virtually no redeeming qualities. The acting is godawful. The story is stupid, even though anything closing days of World War II, you have a great story arc there. It's just stupid. The direction is almost non-existent. It was like it almost formed organically, like they just sort of were walking in front of a camera. The zombie makeup is effectively green grease paint.
Can I ask a question? Are you talking about an Italian movie?
Spanish-French.
Spanish-French?
Spanish-French.
Yeah, I've actually seen that movie. It's horrible.
It takes place in the 1970s, right? And one of the main subplots is that right before he was killed at the end of the war, trying to hide the Nazi whatever he was hiding, blah, 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 one of the soldiers fathers a child with this local girl. It's supposed to be 30 years after the war, and the little girl is 12. Now, I don't know who did the math in the continuity department, but I'm like, no, you can't even get your facts straight. So, I mean, much as I love zombie movies, this one is a total misfire.
I always thought that was an Italian knockoff, but
I've heard of it,
Like
but I've
Fulci?
never seen it. So
No,
Yeah, like a
they were
Fulci
actually, it's funny because I can't say Fulci was ripping off. Fulci was borrowing from the American zombie movies. In fact, Zombie 2 is called Zombie 2 because he was intending it to be a quasi-sequel to Night of the Living Dead. This is back when international copyright laws were a little on the fluid side.
there are places in the world where it still is.
I know.
Them early Italian zombie movies are, even though they're dubbed and the mouths all look off with the language and stuff, they still tend to be a little bit more gruesome and the special effects a little more horrifying than the American stuff.
Oh yeah, the Fulci stuff, it's gross. They really like to show gore.
But I loved Fulci But this was like a French-Spanish production company's attempt to rip off Fulci. So it was basically a rip-off of a rip-off. And again, I have one rule. You can have homages. You can even have rip-offs. Don't be derivative. If you're going to steal someone's baby, at least do something creative with it. Give it some new angle, some fresh take, some observation. This film has nothing. Nothing.
No substance.
I remember we used to love to go to the video rental places and get the VHSs of the Italian knockoff movies because they were always just so much more graphic and gory than the American stuff. Till the Evil Dead come out. Till Evil Dead come out, then everything changed.
Yeah, that's quite right.
Yeah, after Evil Dead, those dive in gore.
And Indy, you hit the nail on the head. Remember the zombie, Nazi zombie renaissance I was talking about? It rip-offs Shockwave, among other things that have already been discussed. And in Shockwave, there's that amazing scene where I believe it's actually done in reverse image, where the zombies come out of the lake and don't break the surface tension, and it's done in this. It's like, and they tried to recreate the magic of that in this, and they just come out of the lake. It's guys in bad grease paint makeup coming out of a lake. It's like,
I think they got Christopher Lee in that movie, and that's what kind of flexed it into being rememberable.
He was. I forgot that. I haven't seen the movie in so long. I'm racking my brains. I can't. He may have been. I can't remember.
It might have been the other guy. It may have been the other guy that was in it with him.
Oh, Shockwaves. That was Peter Cushing.
Peter Cushing
was in Shockwaves for like 2 days. I think they promised him a short vacation, and he came out to the Bahamas.
Because his name was on it. That's why I grabbed it in the video rental places. Which may I point out is about the last time I seen it 40 years ago when I rented it. It's not one I've rewatched lately.
No. Indy, if you found enjoyment of the movie, don't let me rip.
I'm pretty sure that was sarcasm, but okay.
You never know. You never know.
Every movie will find its fans. That's like a truism. Even the worst movie in the world has fans. Okay.
Yeah, that's true.
See, under Highlander 2, you see, Lens, I do pay attention.
Yeah. I think League of Extraordinary Gentlemen is a good movie, and I don't care who hears me say it.
It has its moments. It just didn't come together. Like something that I think if it had been done as a mini series, I think it would have worked better.
That would have worked. Yeah, that would have been cool.
I think.
Sure. Like I heard that they're trying to do a remake of 13 Ghost, which is a schlocky William Castle movie, but instead of making it a movie like they did last time, they're actually going to make it a show with 13 episodes where each episode is dedicated to each ghost. And I think that's a great idea.
I'm on it. I'm sold.
I didn't hate the 13 Ghost remake with Mr. Monk in it, Tony Shalhoub.
I mean, it's not a terrible movie, but it's really hard to watch because it's like it's early 2000s, late 90s, just like constant cutting, and you have no idea what's going on screen, and there's just it gives you a headache.
Sounds like it's all over the place.
But Tony Shalhoub and Matthew Lillard make it worth watching, and F. Murray Abraham. Yeah,
we can name stars.
Yeah, it had some good stars. So, Tracy, what is your pick?
Mine is S.
Oh,
yeah.
Movie. That qualifies.
I thought that was the worst movie I've ever seen. When we turned her boyfriend into a snake. Oh, Jesus Christ! I mean, I went to first time I saw it was like at a theater that played second run shows and classic films during the weekends back home.
Yeah.
And, they had that on there, and you go and you pay your money. Back in the 80s, it was like $3.50, but it was the worst $3.50 I ever paid. I could have got something better, like lunch and everything else.
When I was in college, I've told this before, but when I was in college, I used to have a weekly screening in my dorm room where I would show movies, usually obscure movies that people hadn't seen, because I really like to spread my love of film to everybody in the dorm. And one week I picked S to show it to people. I hadn't actually seen it, so I rented it and I put it in. We all watched it together. And that's the only time I can remember actually apologizing, being like, I'm sorry. This was not what I thought it was going to be.
Yeah. I was like, oh God, can I get like 2 hours of my life? I cannot possibly have
It's-
it back.
It's bad, it's nonsensical, and it's boring. Those are the three big just
Yeah, exactly.
I remember my thing about it is, if it had been done as an episode of Night Gallery, it would have worked. You took
it would have been shorter, yeah.
you took a 20-minute story and stretched it out to 105 minutes.
Mhm, mhm. I can see
Strother
that.
Martin is the mad scientist. He did a commendable job. He really tried. And Dirk Benedict, even though he really hadn't gotten his acting chops yet, I think he was really trying. But just and again, it's the whole Prometheus thing where the mad scientist. There was actually a movie where a mad scientist tries to turn private school girls into vampires, and they say it's because after the atomic wars, vampires will be the only thing that survived.
Mm.
Was a teenage vampire or something like that?
Something like that. That sounds very familiar. Yeah.
But it's that type of premise where the mad scientist is actually trying to save humanity by turning them into something else, regardless of what they want. And I mean, the pieces were all there. It didn't take that much time to tell it. And there's one scene in that movie, which even when I think I first saw it when I was like 10 or 11, there's one scene that always bothered me. You found out that the doctor was actually selling the misfires to a freak show, bringing little freaks in there as well. And someone's telling the daughter, "Oh yeah, I saw a snake boy at this freak show," and she goes, "I'm sure it's just a snake dressed up as a person." And she freaks out when he says the snake has blue eyes. Did it never occur to her that you could dress a person up as a snake? It's like the credits not transfer, but she automatically takes it again, like, "Oh my god, it's my ex-boyfriend." It was, but that was an awfully thin contacting tissue to get from the point A to point B. Oh, and I gotta mention, the makeups in that scene were actually pretty solid. They got one of the guys from Silent Running. I forget which one, but he was missing limbs and very thin, so he worked with that makeup. And the makeup effects were pretty solid, and so it made a pretty good reveal for an otherwise not great movie. But Tracy, you were right. It's a terrible movie, but I saw flashes of greatness. It could have been a good short.
Yeah, so bad it's good.
So maybe not completely irredeemable, but pretty close.
I thought it was really bad.
Yeah.
Like, can I get my money back?
Well,
Okay.
I can certainly see it. I can certainly see people going, "What the blank did I just watch?"
Exactly. I mean, it's being played with like Bela Lugosi's vampires. They used to do this on the weekends, show nothing but old classic movies and like movies like the original A Star Is Born, or they play like a Joan Crawford movie here or there.
When you say original Stars Born, which one are you talking about? Because
Like
there's like
155 with James Mason.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure that's the
is
second
black and white.
I think there's one from the
Hug,
30s.
I'm sorry, you're right.
Mhm.
There was.
And Dan, do you have anything to say about?
It sucks.
Thank you.
Very concise. Thank you.
I barely remember that movie. It's one of them that's like, oh God, I don't know why I had to put it up in mind.
Like I said, I think it commits the cardinal sin. It's just boring.
Mhm.
And that's the thing I hate the most, when a movie is boring. It can be bad as long as it's not boring. Which brings me to my next pick. And I know I said I didn't find any 50s movies, but maybe I lied, because this one is actually from 1951. And it also has a very good cast. It's got Raymond Burr. It's got Lon Chaney Jr. You'd think this would be great, but it's Bride of the Gorilla. It's like a werewolf story where Raymond Burr is a were-gorilla. Now, that sounds funny, but it's not. It's dull. It's like a lot of people just talking about Raymond Burr turning into a gorilla for the entire movie, and it's like an hour and a half long, which is really long for a 1951 movie like this. It's just boring and dull. Like if it were a comedy, I'd be all on board. I mean, you even got Lon Chaney Jr. in there. Like you've got the Wolfman in the movie, but he's just like the professor or something. I don't even remember. He's not the one who turns into the gorilla. That's Raymond Burr. but it had so much potential to be such a great schlocky movie, and it's not. It's just boring and dull. So
Just think how much better it would have been if they had reversed the roles and
made
had
Lon
Lon
Chaney.
Chaney Jr. turn into some kind of funny were-gorilla and make it a comedy.
Yeah,
I guess
right.
they figured Raymond Burr didn't need as much makeup. So
They could have got Abbott and Costello to run around in it or something.
yeah, it would have been great. But no, they took it seriously, which is like, how do you take that seriously? It's called Bride of the Gorilla. Come on.
How much better can you name it?
So that's my one 1950s pick. That's the only one on my list. And I had to scour the 50s.
See, there are other 50 movies that really are bad.
They do exist, yes. Just, and bad in a way that I don't even enjoy them anymore. Like Bride of the Gorilla was bad, so bad that it offended me. I wanted it to be so bad it was good, but it was so bad it was bad, you know? So that was my pick. I watched it like 6 months ago, so it's still kind of fresh. Because I didn't even know it existed until then. Like I was researching some movie, I don't even remember what movie, and it came up because I was talking about Lon Chaney. Maybe it was when I did The Wolfman like a year ago. And then I watched it and I'm like, this is so bad. It's so boring. Nothing happens. Where's the gorilla? Where's Raymond Burr in a gorilla suit? I want to see that.
It's like me with Titanic. Iceberg, please, iceberg.
And yeah, there are gorillas in the Latin American jungle.
I think they ought to qualify Titanic as a horror movie because it's a horror to sit through it.
Yeah, true.
It's a horror movie for that guy who hit the propeller, for sure.
Right. Splat.
Ping.
Anyway, that was
The
my
machine that
pick.
goes ping.
So what do you got else? What else you got, Dan?
A horror movie. I hate to beat a dead horse, man, because I beat this one to death last week. But it still fits this category too. I mean, it really fits this category. If you ask me, it might be number 2 or 3 on the list. And once again, I have to bring up a movie that's so bad it's bad, and I still don't get it. And that's The Happening.
Oh yeah, well, this is on our. It is the thumbnail for the show.
I still don't know what's happening. Kind of pollen's killing people, or some kind of germy off of a plant. I'm getting killed by wheat spores. Come on, really? To me, that has to be one of the most boring, just waste of space movies. It's even worse than Sucks.
It actually could have benefited from an M. Night Shyamalan twist at the end, where we discover that it's all not supposed to be serious or something. I don't know what the twist would be, but it could have been saved.
It could have benefited with anything that actually happens in a movie.
Exactly. Nothing happens in the movie except Mark Wahlberg looking stupid and Zoe Deschanel staring at the middle distance.
A movie named The Happening, where nothing happens. We
Yeah,
ride
I
a
think-
train. Woo. We stand in the field. Oh boy, look, George fell dead. Wow, don't move. Come on, man.
You know, it's sad too, because as you guys know, I am an aficionado of post-apocalyptic fiction. And in the beginning, where the train just sort of stops and no one knows what's going on, and they keep asking the train conductors, and they're like, "Arr, I'm as lost as you are." I thought that was great, but then I realized he wasn't not telling us because it was going to be a great reveal. He wasn't telling us because it was stupid, and he was afraid we'd walk out.
I think you're right. Yeah.
It was a great shtick, and I love the fact that it becomes a journey, because the best post-apocalyptic movies are a journey. They're all going somewhere, even if they
Right.
don't know where they're going. They just know. It's like the line in Empire of the Sun. Will there be food there? There's no food here. It's like we have to just get out of Dodge. That's the plan. But again, it just sort of unravels, and it was one of the movies where, I tried to like it, and I just couldn't. And I do like the whole Gaia premise, the idea, nature is fighting back. We see that in so much of the nature horror of the 70s, but it was just such a stupid premise. I'm like, I'm sorry, I can't, I just can't. So yeah, it undermined the whole movie for me, I'm afraid. And I'm in good company, apparently.
And it came out around the same time as that that Final Fantasy animated movie that was like about Gaia and the like ghosts coming out of the earth and taking revenge on the human race. And that was way better. So I don't know why he bothered to make that happening. It's so bad. Anyway, I've talked about this movie to death. I don't feel like talking about it anymore.
We just put a rubber stamp. Yes, bad. So bad it is bad. Boom.
Exactly.
Would you like to add anything, Dan, though? Or is it? Or Tracy?
Are you done talking about it?
Ooh,
Tracy, do you have any points?
It's just to
any,
me,
any
like,
points?
the hardest movie to sit and actually watch. And I have tried to watch that movie more than one time to come out. Really, I still don't know what happened.
It would be hard for me. I'd be squirming in my seat.
And yeah, Thresh, I think like the first maybe 5 or 10 minutes of the movie has some promise, and like the idea of like, you know, people just suddenly committing suicide for no reason. I think you have something there that could be clever and interesting, and he took the least interesting possible path. And then he shows us Mark Wahlberg as a science teacher, and any suspension of disbelief is gone.
Yeah. I found that movie boring.
That movie may have been done a little bit better in a movie, something called like God Told Me To or something. Where people were just killing people randomly or killing themselves. Nobody knew why. And they would always say, God told me to.
Okay, Brian, I don't hate The Village. I do think the twist kind of strains credibility a little too much. But I do kind of like the vibe of the movie. I like the feel of the movie. And I love the actors in the movie. I think everybody's doing a really good job. I just the last 5 minutes or so after the twist is a little, it asks a bit much. But it's a way better movie than The Happening, that's for sure.
Most movies are.
Yeah.
Except the next two I'll talk about.
I like the Blair Witch Project, Keith.
I was about to say that's one on my list too. I thought it was the worst movie I've ever seen.
I actually, like, my son was born in Leonardtown, Maryland, which is actually where the real Blair Witch story comes from.
Okay.
Which is, it's very different from what they show in the movie, but it was basically a witch trial, and there were some woods involved, and yada yada yada. But the actual Blair Witch, where Blair is in Blair, Maryland, in Burkittsville, is not that they took the story from Leonardtown and put it in Burkittsville, even though Burkittsville has no story like that. Anyway, I could go on about Blair Witch Project all day.
one thing I got to point out is, and I was working for the video store at the time. So they actually come in. It was one of the first movies where, as a promotional device, they made a mockumentary.
Yeah.
But you didn't know it was a mockumentary. You would have sworn it was actually made for the History Channel. In fact, I believe
it was really well made. Yeah,
it was.
You're from the History Channel to do this. So by the time the Blair Witch came out, I already felt that I knew what it was because I had seen this documentary. And someone had to explain to me, like, it's a whole shtick. It's a gimmick. And I go, well, the gimmick is brilliant. In fact, I think the documentary is better than the actual Blair Witch movie. And that led to a number of mockumentaries and other things years later. That there's another one they actually do about mermaids, which some people still think is legit. So, but I have to give it to them. It's a wonderful gimmick.
No, and I think
they started it.
It was the perfect time where people were still on the internet and still they were still kind of gullible on the internet. Like, it's not like now where we don't believe anything anymore. So like there were a lot of people who genuinely believed this was a real thing and this was actual found footage and not like a movie. And I can see why. I can see why it was so successful.
No, I feel I should qualify. I knew the found footage movie was a movie.
Oh, you're talking about the mockumentary. I know. Yeah.
Yes, the mockumentary. I thought
came
it was
out
like
before the
trials,
movie.
but actually.
But that's one of the reasons that that lent it some credibility, is that this mockumentary was so well done. It does look professional. It looks like a professional documentary that you would see, like you said, on the History Channel, back when the History Channel actually showed good things.
Yeah, the documentary was originally on Sci-Fi Channel, by the way.
Was it really? I don't remember, but I remember watching it and thinking this is really good.
It actually was given credit for spawning the movie Cloverfield.
Oh yeah, Cloverfield, the whole ARG thing, yeah.
For the found footage thing,
and the found footage thing, and Cloverfield is actually a found footage movie I really like. So
yeah, I like it a lot too. Actually,
I've talked about found footage a little bit, especially in my shorts, because I do like found footage movies. I know a lot of people hate them, but I actually really like them. Even some of the bad ones. Like there's a really terrible one, Apollo 18 or whatever, where they go to the moon and they find a Russian cosmonaut have crashed there and been eaten by a bunch of moon monsters. It's a dumb movie, but I like it. Anyway, that was a long tangent. I don't even remember whose turn it was.
I think we're coming up on my turn.
It's your turn, yeah. Because Dan, yeah, it's your turn.
I think we tortured the happening enough. So
Oh god.
I'm actually going to go with one that isn't mainstream enough where I'm sure most people have seen it. Not all, but most. And I'm going to go with what started out as one of the best nature horror films of all time, Jaws, and became so bad it insulted our intelligence. And I'm going to pick one because there's a couple that fit under this umbrella. I'm going to go with Jaws Revenge.
Oh, it was on my list.
Here's a movie so bad you couldn't even get Roy Scheider to do it. It was just, it's he's dead, so they get his widow. And apparently the shark now is on a quest for revenge to the point where it knows how to follow airplanes. Really? And it's just, it's a revenge film. It's just so terrible that I just can't. Michael Caine and Mary Van Peebles couldn't save this film. That's how bad it is. And again, continuity errors. Michael Caine falls in the water, and when he gets back into the boat, his shirt is dry.
Yeah, it's completely dry.
We're gonna watch for shit like that, people. Come on. And I'm sorry, it's a shark. It's not Godzilla. Sharks don't fly. Sharks can't take down airplanes. Sharks can't follow vapor trails, which Piper Cubs don't give. I mean, who wrote this movie? Why didn't you just set it in the Bahamas and have her, ironically, set up where a shark was? But no, it's going to be a revenge film. No, it doesn't. It's just, it's something so bad. I mean, Jaws 3D, which a lot of people bash on, and I don't blame anyone if they put it on the list. Jaws 3D is bad, but I can enjoy it on some level. Jaws, the Revenge, I cannot, and God knows I tried.
I actually did a little bit of research on it because I suspected we were going to talk about it. Apparently, the movie was made in about 13 days. It was during a big shakeup at the studio, and like a lot of different scripts were kind of shuffled and thrown together. And the whole movie is just a Charlie Foxtrot is a PC way of saying it, of just bad studio mismanagement, everything going wrong and nobody taking any accountability for anything. And that's how the movie got made. And one of the most fun anecdotes that everybody always talks about is that after the movie came out, they asked Michael Caine about it, and Michael Caine said he never watched it. He refuses to watch it. And they're like, why? He said, I really like the house it bought me, but I'm not going to watch that. It looks terrible.
Okay, I don't think you quite get it. The shark didn't follow them down there by tracking airplane vapors or nothing. It's some kind of ancient curse on the family, and the spirit sharks are drawn to them on the planet no matter where they're at, as long as they're near the ocean.
Candygram.
Supposedly, I read a book about that one time.
Yeah.
Apparently, sometime in the past, and there's a comic book that tells a story. Honestly, a Jaws comic book that tells the story of the Brody clan versus these islanders, and the Brody clan are like pirates who kill the islanders, and the shark god people on the island put a curse on the Brodies, and that's why the sharks always come for them.
I guess
these
so.
long-lasting franchises, it always comes down to a curse, doesn't it?
I was about to say they jumped the shark.
Well done, Tracy. Well done.
Couldn't help
It
myself.
sounds like they saw that Richard Jekyll movie and stole the premise from it,
Hey, look at here. I just find it really hard to hate any movie that Michael Caine's in.
Me too.
No matter
That's really
what
funny,
it is.
Gary. I'd like to see that. I'm gonna look it up.
Mhm.
Godzilla.
I
Jaws.
even like the one about the hand.
The Hand, yeah.
Mhm.
I remember that. I was told about that movie before I actually saw it, and like my overactive writer imagination, I was terrified. Then I watched the movie and I'm like, that's not scary at all. That's stupid.
Thank you, Thing.
It's Thing, yeah.
There is a Hong Kong King Kong, say that 5 times fast, ripoff where King Kong fights Jaws.
Really?
My goodness.
I gotta look into that.
I want to see that.
I missed that one.
It'd be like bathtub toys.
And yes, Mike Harper, wisdom that Hollywood will never learn. Not every horror movie needs a sequel. The problem is horror movies are profitable because they're cheap to make, and they always get audiences. Even really bad horror movies, they throw them in the theaters in February and people still go to see them because they just do. It's a law of the universe. The Bye Bye Man made $100 million. Why? I have no idea.
Yeah, the fun part is when somebody like they go out and make the Blair Witch Project for $300,000 and it makes billions, and then they spend $90 million on a piece of crap that makes $8.50.
Yeah,
Yep,
that's true.
Mhm.
I'm not even gonna try to read that. Sorry.
Oh God, that's funny.
Oh, The Wasp Woman. That came up on a lot of lists I was looking up online of bad movies. And I don't think it qualifies because I find it enjoyable. It's not good. Don't get me wrong. It's not a good movie, but it's fun.
I've seen The Wasp Woman way too many times.
You were married to it.
I was about to say, are you talking about the movie or your ex-wife?
No, man. It was one of the movies that were on Shock Theater a lot. And
Yeah.
I've probably seen it, 2 or 3 times a year for 10 years. Matter of fact, I probably got it on a DVD in here somewhere.
I know I do. It's on my compilations.
I got one of these big compilation thing of like 100 old horror movies.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow.
I think everybody's got that.
Everybody's got a couple of them. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure I've got a couple behind me somewhere. Anyway.
Somebody just sent me this big old thing of all the episodes of Alfred Hitchcock Presents.
Wow.
Yeah, I thought that
That's
was really nice.
That is cool.
Mm-hmm.
That was my big package of the week. Well, that is this really cool cup from Brain Benders Matters. 24 ounces of goodness. I got props today. Yeah.
And yes, I'm pretty sure he meant Roger Corman. One of my favorite bad horror movies from the 50s was Roger Corman. This is an aside because I enjoy it because I love Roger Corman movies, no matter how terrible they are. Is It Conquered the World? It's iconic. Peter Graves giving that speech about humanity at the end.
Oh God, morality.
I think I've enjoyed every Roger Corman movie I've probably ever seen.
Exactly. That doesn't qualify.
Lee Van Cleef is the sort of
Lee Van Cleef
twisted genius,
and of course the monster itself is
Sergeant.
So ridiculous. It's the most ridiculous monster of all time.
But I think
it's an onion with crab claws.
The best Corman movies come out between 79 and 85 or 86.
The fully exploitative ones, yes.
Boundly on the Stars.
Was that 79? Yeah, that was probably about 79. Yeah.
I'm going to go with that. That's my guess. And I love it, even though it's just a shameless ripoff of Seven Samurai. I love it.
So anyway, Tracy, it is your turn.
Well, I was going to say Sharknado, but we talked too much about sharks. Mine is Ben with all the rats.
Oh, the rats, yes.
Yeah, I thought that was just like I like the original Willard.
Yeah, Willard's great.
Ben, and it was like, what the hell? give me Orphan.
And yeah, it was a sequel that didn't need to be made. And it completely missed what made the original so interesting because the original Willard has that like really quirky offbeat tone, whereas Ben is serious and not in a good way. It's just not as interesting.
I'm not a fan of Rats, honestly, but I enjoyed both the movies equally.
Hey, Rats Night of Terror is a great movie. No, don't talk about that.
But if you want a really good Rats movie, if you got to watch a movie about rats, don't watch the one where the giant rats are walking at the end called Rats, because that's horrible.
That's Night of Terror. That's what I'm talking about.
A good one is called Deadly Eyes. It's a
Deadly
Canadian
Eyes.
horror movie about some giant mutant rats in a sewer. It's Scatman Crothers. It's gold.
Oh my God.
It's funny. When I was trying to funny you mention that, when I was trying to find Rats Night of Terror, because I had a copy once years ago, and It's probably in my attic in a box marked old tax forms. I can't find it to save my life. It is on
Oh, I have to
YouTube for
see
the fans
this.
out there. In fact, I did a show about it not too long ago. But I actually accidentally found Deadly Eyes because I read the 2-sentence description of it. I go, oh, this has to be it. It wasn't it, but you're right. It's a great movie. I do love.
I
the
like
movie.
Deadly Eyes. Yeah.
Really, to me, it's one of my favorite movies about rats.
Killer rats. Yeah.
I have to see it now. I wrote it down.
It's really good. It's above average for a cheap 80s Canadian horror movie.
Yeah.
But yes, Tracy, you're right.
I really love cheap 80s Canadian horror movies like My Buddy
Yeah.
Valentine and Funhouse and stuff like that.
But Amy, I'm so sorry. Tracy, you're right. They took this intense thriller exploitation bully movie revenge that was Willard, which was great, and they tried to make it a family tearjerker.
Yeah.
And it's just, I mean, I give them full marks for an attempt. I guess they figured, well, rats are cute too, and it's sort of a boy and his dog going, it's a boy and his rat. No, this is a fever dream. Oh, and I have to share an anecdotal fact with you folks. Supposedly, this is so sad. Supposedly, as you know, Michael Jackson wrote the theme song to it.
Yes.
And the reason he did so, he actually approached them. He actually saw Willard and was very touched because when they were children, his father did not permit them to have pets. And the story goes that Michael ended up befriending and making a pet into a household rat that when the father, Jackson, found it, killed it, and it sort of devastated him emotionally, leading to, well... But I heard that story years later, and I was kind of like... Because I mean, even in the 70s, it didn't seem odd that Michael Jackson would do a theme to a horror movie, particularly one about a rat, but apparently that was why he felt compelled to do it. It was a catharsis.
And it was Ben, which isn't even really a horror movie. Like you said, it's
No.
more of it's like a romance between a boy and his rat. It's weird.
Right.
and
A
off-putting.
boy and his rat.
I just
Instead of a
don't
boy
find
and a
a little
dog.
bitty rat. I don't find a little bitty rat threatening. I didn't think the rats in Willard were threatening.
No.
I didn't think
One,
It's all about the
no.
swarm. Yeah.
that would be like being threatened by Rata Louie or Chippendale's Rescue Rangers. I like my rats giant and mean, like in the food of the gods. I want some rodents of unusual size in my movies.
But again, one rat is not dangerous. A few hundred of them could ruin your day.
Or one of them
Ratus,
big, or just
cheesies.
one big food of the gods giant rat can mess you up.
There's actually one of those that's coming up, but I don't want to give the game away.
Give it away.
Give it away.
Give it away now. Give it away. Give it away. Give it away.
Okay.
Tank Girl's not on the list, by the way.
Oh, it's bad. No, I love Lori Petty.
It should be, but it's not. Not on my list, at least. But when we were doing that, never mind the connection. But I don't.
It's fine. I got it.
Okay. You would.
So, for mine, I'm gonna. Okay, I've got a couple that I could choose from. I think I'm just gonna go with the one we talked about in the green room, The Mummy, the most recent one with Tom Cruise. Now look,
Tom Cruise on this list, I find that hard to believe.
I like the Universal Classic Monsters, as everybody knows, but I've also gone on record saying The Mummy is my least favorite, and I still stand by it. I don't like the Mummy movies that much. I like the Brendan Fraser Mummy movies. I think they're fun. They're goofy Indiana Jones knockoffs, which Indiana Jones was also kind of a knockoff of the old serial, so it's like a snake eating its own tail. But the Tom Cruise Mummy movie was an exercise in just bad ideas. Like casting Tom Cruise, bad idea. Turning it into an MCU style connected universe from the get-go and like putting like half your movie on that, bad idea. Having Russell Crowe be like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, bad idea. Making it a pseudo comedy, bad idea. It's like everything about it was bad. The actress who actually plays the mummy, Sophia something or other, she's really good. She's actually really good. She got a short end of the stick because she was trying to launch a career and this movie killed it. she did a couple of really interesting movies overseas. There's one about like a really bad drug trip. I can't remember the name of it, but it's really, really good and really, really harrowing, not for the faint of heart. But The Mummy, there's one scene, just one scene I like in the whole movie where like the mummies, like little, they're like coming out of the ground and with rats, and it's all dark and horror-y, and it's got that film noir camera angles and lighting, and it's actually like a good horror scene. And the whole movie around it is trash. It's just garbage. It doesn't make any sense. It's stupid. And it has Tom Cruise in it. Why is Tom Cruise in this movie? Tom Cruise has no business being in this movie.
Or any movie.
And
yeah, Tom Cruise has no business.
I have defended Tom Cruise on this channel before, but not this time. No, sir. He does not belong in The Mummy. It's so bad.
I have never liked him.
Thank you, Indy. I knew you would know it. Climax. Good movie. But like I said, be prepared. It's hard to watch, but it's a good movie. I think it's found footage, isn't it? I don't remember. It doesn't matter. The Mummy, bad movie. That's it. That's all I got.
I want to agree with you, Tug, by the way. The Mummy, I think, was the weakest premise for the Universal monsters. It's basically a less cool version of Frankenstein.
Yeah.
In this case, rather than a reanimated corpse, it's a curse from a former civilization. And I understand what they were doing. They were trying to play up on the I used to know the name of it, but it was that very famous English expedition that got wiped out when they came back to England, and everybody said it was the curse, when in fact one got sepsis and one got a rare disease. And but it actually the ones who opened, I want to say Indy will be able to help me out here, but like these 16 archaeologists died after this expedition, and it caused a lot of people to go, whoa, curses.
Howard Carter and all that. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. When in fact, while there was a certain amount of curses in Egyptian lore, they cobbled it together. Most of it was just made up crap from like English people who had never left Surrey. My favorite of all things, my favorite movie involving the Mummy is actually Abbott and Costello Meet the Mummy, because I love the twist in that the mummy defending the princess's tomb was actually the princess herself. You know, that was, you put some thought into it. So when Abbott and Costello could put more thought into a premise than you can, you fail.
Oh my God, that's funny.
Yeah, and I recently rewatched. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, but of all the Universal monsters, the Mummy is my least favorite.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
And I recently rewatched the sequels, The Mummy's Hand and The Mummy's Curse, I think is the third one. I don't remember. And they're not really that much better. They're slightly better. They're trying to be more entertaining.
There is a good mummy movie. One I really like called Time Walker, about an alien mummy from the past. We talked about that before.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about now. Yeah. I haven't seen it, but I know what you're talking about. But if you want to hear more of my thoughts on the Mummy, wait a couple weeks, because I am going to talk about the Hammer Mummy, which is also not a bad remake.
Bubba Hotep isn't bad either.
Bubba Hotep is actually fun. Yeah. We do a whole thing on mummy movies. Maybe we'll do that in a couple weeks.
People are long dead.
Anyway, that's all I got.
So that means Dan's back up?
Here we go again. Imagine, if you will, a man with a deadly disease. He's really sick. He's dying. It's really contagious. And then he falls in the reservoir and it goes out in the water. So everybody drinking the water gets infected, including a group of teenagers who come to a cabin in the woods. We experienced a movie called Cabin Fever, which had to be the movie that made me most violently ill of any movie I've ever seen in my life. Not only is it a horrible movie with bad acting, the whole preference of this movie will make you nauseous and sick and afraid to drink the water. Am I right? Do y'all know this piece of crap?
I do know this movie. It was like at the height of the torture porn thing. And Eli Roth was the guy who directed it. And he was probably the prime offender of the torture porn category of films. And Cabin Fever is just, it's just gross for gross sake. It's all it is. It's just we want to see these teenagers be tortured to death by disease. We
I like the one guy who drank beer and lived. You know, the one guy who did drugs, drank beer, and wouldn't touch the water is the only guy that
he
lived.
lives, yeah. It's a terrible movie, and it's got this one scene that's like deliberately designed just to be the talking point, the thing that everybody's gonna freak out at in the movie theater. Is like a woman is like shaving her legs and her skin's coming off as she's doing it.
I'll take that.
I swear to God, it's one of the few movies that ever made me literally sick to watch it.
And not in a, it's not like it's not even serving any purpose. That's the problem. Is that there's no story being told. It's just people dying in the cabin in the woods.
Oh, and here's the thing I really hate. They never really explain what biological toxin the guy had or where he come from. None of this stuff gets explained. It just happens like a happening.
Yeah, I have very strong feelings about Eli Roth as a filmmaker. I think Cabin Fever is better than Hostel, but that's a whole nother topic.
And the funny thing is, I think the whole thing is actually a ripoff. And I'm sorry, I read this 40 years ago, but in one of those twisted tales of one of those 80s, like disturbingly violent horror comics, there's a story about these two men are in the desert and they're friends, but one kills the other because he wants to marry his wife or get the fortune. There's some reason. But what happens is the friend reanimates like a zombie and comes after him. And he's like, ah! And he chases him across the desert until finally the guy gets back to the oasis on the verge of collapsing from dehydration. And he's drinking and he sees the zombie. He goes, ha, you tried to stop me from getting to the oasis, but I made it. So now I will survive. And you find out it wasn't a zombie. The guy had survived the murder attempt, but had a form of leprosy that was taking root. He was trying to warn him, whatever you do, don't drink from the oasis, because I woke up realizing I was infected with leprosy, and I tried to warn you. Even though you betrayed me, I tried to warn you, and now it's too late because you're going to suffer the same fate as me. And it was kind of an interesting premise. And again, I think Roth just stole it for this really stupid movie.
Probably. I wouldn't be surprised. But Keith actually makes a really good point. I should wait until Mother's Day weekend to do the Mummy movie thing. So that is what I will do that on Mother's Day. People remind me because I have a terrible memory, but I will do Mummy movies on Mother's Day.
I thought it said mommy movie.
That's what it says because he uses text to speech in series.
I see. Yeah. I sometimes do too.
Humanoids from the Deep with Vic Morrow. I'm pretty sure.
I love that movie. Don't say nothing bad about it.
Yeah.
I love that movie. Don't say nothing bad about Humanoids from the Deep, I mind.
And yeah, Eli Roth, speaking of the cinematic abominations, he made Borderlands too. Yeah. Anyway, suffice to say, I don't like Eli Roth. Anyway.
I have to agree with you. I don't like his movies too much either. But
I like his documentaries. He really knows his shit. He should make better horror movies because he's really an expert on them. So the fact he can't make good ones is baffling to me. But
maybe it's just proof that just because you know a lot about a subject doesn't mean you're going to be getting good at it.
That's true.
It's like I talk a lot about movies. It doesn't necessarily mean I'd be a good filmmaker. I'd probably be terrible. I'm lazy. Too lazy.
You could not do no worse than some of the people in Hollywood.
Well, I mean, there's that. Yeah.
Well, one of my movies is Shaun of the Dead. I thought that was
come on, that's a great movie.
Oh, it's so stupid. I couldn't watch it. I rented it for a while. I only watched like half of it, and I returned.
That's sacrilege. I completely disagree with you, Tracy.
It was so bad.
I think Shaun of the Dead's a classic, man.
It's a guy movie though, so I can kind of see it.
No, but Tracy, in your defense, it's sort of what Austin Powers is to secret agent movies.
Okay.
You have to really be a fan of the genre to really immerse yourself in the film because it's a true spoof. I mean, he really did his homework. So if you're not, I mean, if you just sort of like them and not a suit, like I'm a fanboy. I'm like,
well, I can't disagree with that. I love spy movies. I love James Bond, but I think I cannot stand Austin Powers.
And I thought
I'm not a big fan either, but it's mostly
actually between that and Flowers in the Attic, the first TV series back in the early 80s. I like a lot of movies that are kind of like, that mess your mind up more than, just the gore, because anybody could do gore. But I like the stuff that makes you think a little bit. And then you see the site with the three plots and where the mother is trying to kill her kids off or something like that, to marry this one guy. Man, I think actually Hallmark did or not Hallmark, it was Lifetime, did a really good version. It was much closer to the book.
You have a defender in Gary. He also doesn't like Shaun of the Dead. So there's one person who agrees with you, apparently.
Sorry, I just couldn't stand it.
To each their own, or to own their each, as
there you go.
Yes.
There are a couple of annoying parts in that movie, I will say that. But overall, I liked it.
It's like, if you think of it as a horror movie, yeah, it's not very good. But if you think of it as a comedy, which is what I think it was intended,
that's what it. Yeah.
It's not a bad.
I can see
that.
that.
A comedy with a heart, like they weren't making fun of them. It's like
it's an homage comedy.
I prefer a horror movie that actually has a little comedy in it to break the monotony. Like
best ones do.
Like to give an example, Return of the Living Dead. It's a pretty good horror movie, but you still get to laugh a little bit with it. You know what I'm saying?
I like Hellboy is like that too.
Yeah.
He says smart things every now and then, make you laugh.
Yeah, and see, that's why I've got to get Thrash to watch Friday the 13th Part 6, is because it's more comedic than horror. Is that what I said? I said the word horror.
Gory, dear.
I don't word good.
I think everybody should watch all the Friday the 13th movies at least once. You can't criticize them or talk about them if you ain't seen them.
I mean, if you include Freddy versus Jason and the remake, there's 12 of them.
Freddy versus Jason, I love that.
While we're on the subject, the guy who plays Spider in Return of the Living Dead he has a small part in Friday the 13th Part 5.
Wow.
Oh yeah,
Nunez.
Right, Nunez.
Yeah, Nunez.
Yeah. Okay, I think we skipped you, Thrash. So I think it's your turn.
Did we?
What was your last pick? I don't remember.
My last pick was Jaws Revenge.
So yeah, it's your turn.
You're due.
Well, I'm going to go with and we've talked about this before, I'm going to go with what is hands down the worst horror film ever made, and that is The Creeping Terror by A.J. Nelson. This is a movie, and I'm just going to have an aside for a moment. There's actually a movie documentary about it, which actually shows this man was a colossal pervert, drug addict, charlatan, con man, domestic violencer. He's one of the most irredeemable people who ever lived, and somehow he managed to make this movie. And most people in the documentary will say, it's not a wonder how bad it is. It's a wonder the film ever got made at all. Supposedly, this guy wasn't even really thinking he was going to make a movie. Supposedly, it was just a con to get people to give him money, and he was making what was basically proof of concept, which he eventually strung into a film. He was also using it to get young starlets who wanted exposure to give him money and or sexual favors. Like, hey, I'm making a movie, hon. I let you in my movie, and it'll be your big break. But the premise is so catastrophically stupid. I'm not even going to bother to mention it, other than it's an alien invasion. Exactly. And apparently the whole thing started. This one guy, he wrote a short story from a nightmare he had, where two kids are getting to know each other in a drive-in, and a big slug monster comes to the window, and he goes, "That would make a good movie." It didn't. But the idea how a mindless slug monster can pilot a ship from another planet and get to Earth. I mean, at least the thing from another world, the thing was intelligent, and so you could say, "Oh yeah, I could certainly pilot a ship." This thing was just a mindless sort of, and the special effects are non-existent. The acting is pathetic. Again, the direction is god awful, and supposedly some of the voiceovers were lost in a fire, or he was always not paying people, so they would take stuff from the set. Somehow it wasn't the actual voice tracks were gone, so a lot of the movie is just narrated, and it feels like a 50s hygiene film. But it's so bad you can't even enjoy it on an ironic level. This is the worst film ever made.
It's a contender for sure.
I'm gonna have to rewatch this movie because I think I've seen it one time in 50 years. I remember
it came out in the 60s. It feels like it came out earlier than that, but it came out in the 60s.
64.
I remember.
I'm sure Andy will tell us
a little about it. I really do.
It's another one of the. It was made on like no budget, and then you can tell, and it's not worth watching. It's just bad.
Well, I
And
gotta
yeah,
watch
you're
it
right. The
once.
behind the scenes stuff makes it 10 times worse. It's like the reason I'll never enjoy Jeepers Creepers because the filmmaker behind it is too irredeemable. Same kind of deal.
Hmm.
And on that topic, I'm gonna go ahead and get to my next pick because it kind of flows naturally from that, and that is Cannibal Holocaust.
I love the name.
This I talk about. I like found footage movies, but Cannibal Holocaust, which is usually credited as the first found footage horror movie, although there's debate as there always is. This movie was about a bunch of people going to some native island and getting killed by cannibals. Obviously, Cannibal Holocaust. And in the meantime, they kill a bunch of animals live on camera, and we get to watch it. And those are real animals that they're killing. They're eating a turtle, and it's real. And it's just gross and exploitative in the worst kind of way. And I really feel like it feels like you're watching a war crime. You're not watching a movie. It's not fun to watch. You feel dirty having watched it because it's kind of, that it was an unethical movie, even though it's not real. There weren't really cannibals. It was too real to not be. I don't know what I'm trying to say. It's bad on that level that this movie should not have been made and you shouldn't watch it.
One thing about that movie, this movie freaked people in England out so bad, they put the director on trial and made him produce the actors and actresses to prove they were still alive.
Yeah.
It was about to go for making
That's
snuff
crazy.
films, man.
It's a
That's
terrible
how-
movie. And it's not even fun to watch. Like I said, not only does it make you feel dirty, but it's not a good engaging story. It's just a bunch of, they're kids, but they're like in their 20s getting eaten by
I think
cannibals.
anybody planning a trip to South America should be forced to watch this movie.
I think the Venezuelan Chamber of Commerce actually sued the makers of the film.
Oh
Yeah, I
my
think
god!
you're
Should
right.
have.
Yeah.
Wow.
That should have. And Tug, I couldn't agree with you more. It's sort of the whole faces of death conundrum. Teenage boys watch this film to show how hardcore they are, but it's not even entertainment. It's just, as you say, the torturing of and killing of the animals. It's just, yeah,
Why would you
you
wanna
got the
watch that?
footage. Yeah, exactly. But again, when I was a kid, I watched Faces of Death just to prove how
Same
hardcore it
thing.
was. But you know
Yeah.
what? It's not entertaining. And I know they tried to play it off as a documentary, and it wasn't. It was sick exploitation. And Cannibal Holocaust, I must confess, I've watched it too, just because of all the notoriety. But I couldn't agree with you more. This is not entertainment. This is a hate
Sadly,
crime.
I've seen it more than once.
Of course you have.
And actually, it's one of the movies I actually have a copy of on DVD
Mm.
Why?
because somebody sent it to me.
To remind you to not watch it.
I've never watched. I don't even think it's ever been opened, but I do have a copy.
The movie it like tries to address the ethical conundrum. It's got this like framing story of people discovering the footage and like whether or not they should show it to people. But it's toothless because they're still showing you the movie. So anyway, bad movie in the worst kind of way. And yeah, with a title like Cannibal Holocaust, sounds like a riot. Sounds like a good time.
Rock on.
Okay, Dan. So what do you got? What's next? Let's keep it rolling.
Holocaust would be on that list of movies that made me a little nauseous when I did watch it. But I didn't never regret watching it because I thought it was like realism at its extremest because they really are tribes in the jungle like that. They do exist. And you could run into them. I think it's a good film that warns people, stay out of the jungle, dumbass. But with that being said,
Darwin does that.
we'll go from torturing animals and jungle inhabitants to torturing the audience with a movie with a horrible movie. I don't know if everybody will agree. I'm sure some people like it, but I'm going to bring up The Wicker Man. It's slow beat horror, but it's the horror is having to endure it in a theater. And I'm talking about the Nicolas Cage version.
No, the Nicolas Cage version is actually fun to watch. Yeah,
not the original. The Nicolas Cage version is horrible. When they put that thing on his head with the bees, it makes me cry.
Not the bees. That movie's just like the Nicolas Cage version. It's so batshit insane. you've got Nicolas Cage punching a woman in a bear costume. I mean, it's funny. It's the kind of movie again where you could get a group of friends together and watch it while drunk, and you would be entertained.
I find nothing entertaining about that movie whatsoever, by the way.
And you took one of the best psychological thrillers of English language cinema.
It's a horrible blasphemy of the original Wicker Man. Yeah,
and that's the part that I find was unforgivable.
I can see that.
I like the old original Wicker Man movie. I thought it was kind of classic and kind of good. I just think they remade it in the worst possible way. The only thing
Eccles naked in it.
And worse was they got Tom Cruise in it instead. You know,
Tom Cruise. What?
I said the only way they could have made the Wicker Man.
Oh, I get you. Okay,
put Tom Cruise in it.
This is what I get for trying to multitask with the chat. I miss like half your sentence.
Tom Cruise.
And that's the thing. I mean, Nicolas Cage, was he stoned when he made this movie?
Probably.
Was he putting it in because he just did it for a paycheck? Nicolas Cage is a better actor than he was in that movie, and I will die on that hill.
No, Nicolas Cage is actually a good actor. He just doesn't show it very often.
Face Off. I thought Face Off. Oh, that movie Raising Arizona, man, it's classic.
I love Raising Arizona.
It's one of the greatest movies ever made. You know, what happened in The Wicker Man, I do not know.
Yeah.
It is hilariously misguided. That's a good way of putting it, Andy.
and again, but the premise of a modern day matriarchal cult, I loved it. It was just very badly put together, and I didn't like the fact that he was actually personally connected to the missing girl. I thought that ruined it, because in the original, he's just a cop doing his job.
Right.
Yes.
But of course, he's concerned about a missing girl. Anyone would be. But there's a certain detachment to it that was ruined, and again, I think Christopher Lee helped make the first one, and they could have gotten somebody a little, maybe if they got Kate Blanchett or something to do a Christopher Lee impression. I don't know, but
I'd pay to see that. Yeah,
maybe, I don't know, but anywho,
these are all excellent choices for this list. Mike Silva, Pod People, Ega, Night of the Blood Beast, Laser Blast, Manos, Hands of Fate, and Puma Man. Those are all terrible, terrible movies.
Laser Blast has some good special effects, some good stop motion, and any movie with good stop motion, the stop motion redeems it on some level.
Is the one called Ega the Caveman movie?
Yes,
with Richard Kiel, and it's.
Those are all movies I wouldn't have seen if it weren't for MST3K. Okay, so let's see. Thrash, you got one more.
Yeah, I'm up again. Cool. I'm going to go with, since we were talking about giant puma-sized rats, I suppose that'd be a good cue to throw this one in. I'm going to go with what should have been a fun movie. Because it's an anthology film, and I always hold that that's the beautiful thing about an anthology film. Even if one or two pieces aren't very good, there'll be something redeemable there. But there's one exception, and that's Nightmares. Nightmares was an absolute snorefest. It was a nightmare. Particularly, and I'm really bash on this one, the Emilio Estevez, where he plays the kid obsessed with the arcade games. And I got to tell you something. My grandmother went batshit when they got the first arcade in my town, because they were all these like old folks were afraid that the arcades were going to become like drug dens, like from the 1920s, or the kids were going to become obsessed and lose all their snack money playing video games. Which is ironic, because when she was a kid, Worcester tried to ban pinball machines for the same reason. But there was a lot of buzz about how arcades were going to become an unhealthy fixation for teens. So making a movie, a segment in a movie that played to that, was a great idea. And Emilio Estevez, off the heels of Repo Man, great. The whole thing was ad-lib. There's one 20-minute conversation between him and the guy who owned the place. That's it, you're banned. No, I'm not banned. Yes, you are. Get out. I'm not leaving. Yes, you are. I'm going to get you for this. No, you're not. I'm like, can we just advance the plot? I mean, was this whole thing done as an improv? And the game, The Bishop of Battle, was that the best name you could come up with? It was almost like whoever made this plot had never seen an arcade in their entire life. And so they were just basically putting the fears of the geriatric into it, not actually having experienced the thing. So that was the worst segment. But The best one is probably the one with the giant rat, but that's only because it had some pretty good forced perspective special effects, but it just wasn't good. And I can't even remember what the third one is. But anyway, Nightmares, and again, I am a huge fan of the horror anthology. But when all of the segments of the anthology are forgettable, I have to forget the film.
Yeah, how do you make an anthology movie boring? And that's what they did here. Like, it's an anthology movie. You got like, you can tell each story in like 20 minutes. It should be snappy. It should be fun. And it feels like each one is a full length movie and none of them go anywhere. Terrible.
You know, you have an ability, Thrash, to pick out some obscure movies that even I don't barely remember. I have seen it because I remember him playing the video game part, but it's been once again, maybe once in 20 or 30 years since I've seen it.
And I love it. Oh, the twist ending. He plays the game until he becomes trapped in it. Talk about derivative. Dude, you know, but what do I know? But yes, so, but I'm glad you at least remembered. Tracy, did you see this one? Do you remember this one?
Which one?
Nightmares.
Oh yeah. I haven't seen that in years.
That was one of those like blockbuster rental movies. For
Yeah,
me
yeah,
to, like,
yeah,
watch
I
as a
know.
kid. Yeah.
I
Or sorry,
rented it a
Suncoast
long
Video.
time
Sorry.
ago. I just don't remember very much of it.
We didn't rent, we sold.
Oh, okay.
Mm.
We were sold. Home theater, personal libraries.
I have that still. I can't get rid of my VHSs.
I have hundreds of them.
I only have a few left. I think I've got like half a dozen.
I can't.
The woman driving alone with the guy in the back seat.
Right. The guy in the back seat.
That
Yeah,
was
the
the
old
other
urban
one we
legend.
couldn't
Yeah.
look up.
I remember that.
It was horrible. It was horrible. That gas station attendant's like, and she thinks he's messing with. I remember it.
You're right. You had to look it up, didn't you? Because I didn't even remember it.
Yeah,
I was racking my brain.
I think what the third one was. You know,
pretty sure there's 4 actually.
Is there 4? Well, that shows you how bad they are. Because
the one with the priest. Yeah.
You know,
I thought there were 3.
There's one with the priest encountering Satan in an old Chevy or something.
One I was thinking about was pretty bad back in the day was
you're right, dude. The priest on the run is chased by a sinister pickup truck in the desert.
Yeah, and it's like the devil or something.
I don't even remember that one.
It's boring. It's like if Duel were boring.
Yeah, right.
You know, I think I
remember
that one.
Tracy, you remember one from England?
The Tingler.
Tingler?
Oh,
that was English.
That's what I have as one of my bad
that's an
movies.
American movie. That's William Castle. No,
William Castle, Vincent Price. Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Price, yeah. Vincent Price makes that movie. If it weren't for Vincent Price, you're right.
Yeah.
The movie wouldn't be that fun.
Vincent Price was great.
But Vincent Price is excellent.
Yeah.
Watching Vincent Price freak out on acid in the 1950s. That's pretty great.
God, that's cool. So that's my final
and a good precautionary tale. If you take too much acid, a monster will come out of your spine.
Yes.
And it'll be very painful.
Yeah.
Definitely.
People watching the movie that's on the acid.
Yeah.
My favorite Vincent Price fun fact is that he never wanted to be remembered as a sci-fi horror icon.
Yeah, he didn't enjoy it that much.
He was a dramatic actor for years. He just made money doing these horror films, but lamented that that's all anybody would remember him for.
He honestly didn't even want to become an actor at first. He wanted to be an art historian and an art collector. That was his original thing. Yeah.
And he painted too. He had his own artwork.
And he also had a cooking show in England, the price of cooking or something. Yeah. He was a cool guy, cool dude. St. Louis native, by the way. I just have to say that because I'm in St. Louis. Okay, well, I guess that wraps it up for today. We're almost at an hour and a half. So this was fun. We actually made some good progress. We got pretty far down my list. I'm pretty excited. I still got more though, and I promised Damien we'd do one more. So we'll be back. I cannot speak. This is really terrible for live streaming. We will be back next week to talk about more bad movies. And let's see. Today, like I said, I've got a review of Dracula coming out in about half an hour.
Which Dracula?
The Hammer version, the one with Christopher Lee, the first one. The one with Peter Cushing and Vincent. Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, Peter Cushing.
Maybe like 5 for Hammer, I think.
Peter Cushing was in like 4 of them, and I think Christopher Lee was in like 8 of them or something. I don't know. I say it in my video, so you just have to go check it out.
But you know,
And-
the Dracula 1972 might actually be on this list.
Mhm.
Oh, okay. I mean, there's a lot of bad Dracula movies. Don't get me wrong. I mean,
That's the only
I
one
considered putting some on
that
this
might
list.
actually be on this list, but it's possible.
Dracula takes the subway in New York.
There was something about
Just-
Dracula 1972 I really didn't like. I just can't put my finger on it.
There's one thing about Peter Cushing and Hammer vampire movies I have to point out. I was just talking to Mrs. Thresh about it last night. Fright Night, which is one of my favorite horror farces, as you guys know. Oh, hey. Was Roddy McDowell plays Peter Vincent. And for years, I thought that was a play on Peter Cushing and Vincent Price.
Mm.
And someone actually said, no, technically, it is Christina Peterson, the most iconic horror movie hostess in American history. And I'm going to get his name wrong. I'm so sorry. I want to say Christopher Vincent, who was
Wow.
considered the first horror host in the United States. It goes back to the early 50s.
Mhm.
So it was just really that just popped into my head because again, I always thought, so how could you have somebody named Peter in a Hammer horror homage and not have it be a reference to Peter Cushing? Well, they did, and I just want to throw that out there.
It is my understanding that it still was Peter Cushing and Vincent Price,
Mhm.
but I like that version too. So.
Yeah.
I've
Well,
always
you know what,
something
you
we've
and I are still on the
debated
same
before.
page.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, you weren't on the same page.
And actually, Vincent Price was like the director, Tom Holland. He actually approached Vincent Price to play the role, but Vincent Price didn't want to do horror movies then.
Yeah. He always
yeah.
saw himself as well because he was a classically trained Shakespearean actor. He
Yeah.
thought he was going to do like really serious things. But
Yeah,
like
he
Jim
really
Henson
wanted to do
said-
musical theater at one point.
Yeah,
Like he was
yeah.
trying really hard to break into musical theater, and that's when like he was doing horror movies on the side just to make money to
Right.
finance
I've
his
seen
career.
him in Hamlet or something like that. Like
Yeah,
an
he's done
old
good stuff.
black and
Yeah.
white- Yeah, it was like really great. He was awesome.
Apparently, a friend of the channel, RNG, just did Fright Night last night. I didn't even
Oh,
know that.
cool.
Cool. Anyway, we also have another show tonight. Me, Thrash, and Dan with our friend Sister Sarah, and I'm sure Tracy will be in the chat. She,
but we may have a special. I've invited a special surprise guest this afternoon.
Oh, cool.
Hopefully they'll 2 of them, and hopefully they'll show up. It's a couple of brothers I know. One of them's kind of famous on YouTube, the legendary Dr. Wu.
oh, Dr. Wu,
Oh,
he'll
cool.
teach us all of his copyright magic.
Very interesting
Awesome.
with real ghost stories and stuff.
Sounds like fun.
Yeah. Well,
Cool.
He has some paranormal stories that will fit right in with the Halloween theme. Real stuff too, so it'll be different. You know what I'm saying? If we can get him to come on. If not, we'll just be talking about the basic monster movies of the good stuff, kind of.
Not the bad movies. We'll be talking about the good movies.
Well, I'm under the impression we're going to spotlight the best films to watch for the Halloween season
Yeah, pretty much.
Wow.
specifically. Well,
Recommendation.
that's what I mean. We can all talk about whatever horror movies we want to talk about. I'm going to spotlight
I thought
my favorite.
today on the show we'd talk about our favorite horror movies to watch around Halloween, and maybe share a little personal ghost story or something if we got one or whatever. You know.
I think
Chrissy,
that
you missed Dan's free plug earlier. He was showing off his mug.
Yeah, he really.
See?
showing off his life.
Well, I can do it again right here. Look.
There you
That's
go.
so
See?
cool.
Yay!
See, I love it.
And
That's
Chrissy,
great.
sorry again for
I'm
missing
gonna
last night.
put it on my comic book videos for about 6 or 7 months before I actually use it.
Yeah, that's a great piece of art you have on there. Cool.
It's awesome. Very cool.
Mhm.
I was actually overwhelmed. It was a lot bigger than I thought it would be. It's the biggest cup I've ever.
I don't have mine with me. Like I have a giant. It's not BBB or anything. It's just a giant circle mug. It's huge.
Oh, yeah. And you know my real good friend Eric. He wrote this
The other
book.
Eric? Oh, that Eric.
Oh, Chrissy, I love Tug Pond. By the way, it sounds like a location in the Stephen King novel.
Tug
After
Pond.
the bodies in Tug
He
Pond.
writes books too, so
Oh,
you might
cool.
want to check it out. For Halloween, they
Nice.
get a couple of copies of True Cryptid Encounters, Book 1 and Book 2, by my
Sweet.
friend Michigan Rob. See, I
Nice.
plug.
Those
Send
are
me free
cool.
books. I'll plug your stuff.
And Mike Harper's put in a link for something happening later today. Yes. Hopefully that's our show. I don't know. Anyway, I will probably stream that here on my channel as well. I haven't decided. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. Just depends on what mood I'm in. And I'll see you then. Tracy, do you have anything else going on this next week?
Yeah, I'm plugging down something. I'm going to do a live too, so just be
Excellent.
prepared. I'll just put it out there, and we'll see what happens. I mean, I'm up and down on like subscribers, so I know that's the way you start off, anyways. So it's like I'm no different than
Same,
anybody
same.
else. I just have to get my butt
The,
in there.
the key is consistency, at least the key that I've learned. I've
Yeah,
gotten up to 20,000 with just consistency. So
and make sure my microphone's working because sometimes it takes a break, and it's a new microphone.
yay, thank you, Chrissy. Yeah, hat's gonna be great because I'll be plugging you all the time if I'm wearing a hat. Because I always wear hats, you know me. So yeah, anyway, I will see you guys later.
Yeah,
I'm gonna hit the
cool.
button now, and
Happy
let's see how long it takes.
Thank you and good night.
And we're done.